That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 55 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
And we're back to bring the spooky, weird, wacky, and frantic. And we are doing a morning episode.
It feels weird.
Which is a little different than what we usually do. We usually have it like super late at night, and David comes over, and we waste a lot of time before we record, and we usually end at around 11 to midnight.
Yeah.
But we are starting at 10 a.m. because we both have messed up schedules this week. So it is a little bit different of a vibe. There's actually light out. It's less spooky, but we're going to keep it spooky. You know, we're going to try our hardest.
Yeah, I've had about 8 mimosas, so we're still on track.
It's Wednesday.
Kidding. But what have we had this morning?
Well, let's just do it right here.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some Spring Heel Jack right now. Let's just
yeah.
get this ad break out of the way. If you guys like coffee, come get some Spring Heel Jack because we got it in our cups. It's in a Camp Strange mug right now, and it's looking good. So,
And you've got the shirt on.
I got the shirt on. I'm repping hard today,
Yeah,
and I'm loving this coffee right here. Let me say now.
Ooh.
Actually, I'm just spilled all over myself.
That would have been even sexier.
It would have been good. So if you guys like Spring Heel Jack, go check them out at springheeljack.coffee, and they're really good prices, good coffee. So we got that out of the way. We're good.
End it.
Now we're done. Let's get into some news stories because
Alrighty.
I have one right here that
All
says,
right, let's hear it.
workers scream as mouse launches itself into deep fryer at Texas Whataburger. That's fucking news.
Wow.
So apparently this mouse was
In the arms of an angel.
they caught it on video, but I can't find
Oh
the
my
video.
God, I don't know if I want to see that
So
video.
they took the video down because I guess there was in Texas. I've never been to a Whataburger before. I heard they're
Isn't
good.
it Whataburger?
Is it Whata or Whata? It's Whata. Whata.
I think it's like Whataburger.
Oh, it might have been. I mean, it might still be. But basically, this little mouse was scampering across the counter, and of course, we all have cameras in our pockets nowadays. So,
Oh, yeah.
So somebody pulled it out and pulled out their phone and started recording this little mouse because that's just a horrible PR thing happening for Whataburger already. And just to make matters worse, as the employees ran around trying to catch this mouse, it decided to go and find an escape exit.
Went for the hot tub.
Through the sky because it went to heaven because it tried to jump away and landed directly in the deep fryer.
Did they serve it?
And I was going to say, are fried mouse on the menu? Because is this like their new way of like competing with the Popeyes chicken sandwich?
It might be.
They're like, oh, you guys never tried fried mouse.
You can pick your mouse and we'll fry it. It's like the lobster thing.
The mouse fries itself. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you know?
the mouse wants to be your meal.
You come here for the fanfare, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when I jumped in, everybody started screaming, and you could hear one guy in the background yell, "Who else needs a refund?" And I guess it got 1.4 million views in less than 24 hours, and it was shared 50,000 times, which is horrible. That's pretty fucking bad. But like shit happens, you know. Like I wouldn't stop eating there because of it. But
that location, but
yeah, maybe that one. But they came out with the statement that says we closed the restaurant out of an abundance of caution and notified pest control. The entire restaurant has since been cleaned and sanitized. I would want a new deep fryer.
That's what I was gonna say. I would say I would take that deep fryer and put it on the front lot and be like, for free, getting a new one.
Be like mouse fryer.
Yeah.
You know, put a little sign on there.
It is free, but it has cooked a mouse or two. You know that's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, there's been other stuff that has fallen in there that it's
yeah.
not necessarily kosher. But I kind of want to. It's kind of fucked up that article made me want to go try Whataburger.
I think they have them in LA.
Do they?
I think so.
I know they have like a couple burger. They have that Astro Burger. I don't know what that place is. They have a couple Fat Burgers over here, but I've never even been there. I don't know.
Whataburger has like the cool retro logo, right?
I mean, I just usually do In-N-Out, but like In-N-Out in LA is impossible to go to because the line's so fucking long all the time. So I don't even go there anymore.
Looks like the closest Whataburger is in Arizona.
Yeah, we don't have them out here. It's more
not.
of a south thing. So next time I'm there, I'll try some mouse.
Yup. All right, so I got owner of Pho King Good Noodle Shop says he's not in on the joke.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, so it's a pho place,
So-
PHO, so it's pho, and then it's king, and it's good. It's a fucking good noodle shop, and the owner says he doesn't get the joke.
Explain what pho is to the people who don't know what pho is.
I believe it's a Vietnamese noodle soup. It's kind of like their ramen.
Yeah, I think so.
I prefer ramen over it, but a good pho is good.
I think I've had pho once, but yeah, it's spelled PHO, so everybody says pho.
Yeah, pho.
But it's pronounced pho, and of course,
Of course.
of course, of course. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but it's probably right next to the Sofa King.
Yes.
That was the joke in middle school. Be like, oh, do you ever go to the sofa? Read this out loud. He's
Yeah.
like, Sofa King. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah, I know Portland had a place that was hung far low.
no fucking way.
Yeah, a Chinese restaurant.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Is that? Ours is just called China Dragon.
China Dragon, there you go. You got one, everybody gets one.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. It better be so fucking good. If is he really not get it, you think? Or you think he's just like, you think there's a language barrier there is what I'm saying? Or do you think he's just like playing dumb because he doesn't want to like admit that he named his restaurant So Fucking Good? You
Yeah, I don't know.
Because then people are like, what is wrong with you? You know, like, that is a swear word. We have to say a swear word when we eat at your restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't like us swearing around my children.
Y'all,
Let us eat pho and shut up. And
let us be worldly and eat your soup. Without this disgusting language.
Speaking of food, you know, it's a really good way to.
Is this our third food story in a row?
Yeah, I guess
My
you're
other one's
right.
about food too.
Yeah. So, so you know, it's a really good way to get like free pho though.
Oh, yeah?
Is if you carry a police badge and gun, even if you're not a cop, because Georgia woman is accused of borrowing badge and gun to get free snacks. So
Yeah.
this lady,
Just let me borrow your firearm and your badge.
this lady borrowed an officer's gun and badge. I don't know if like borrowed like willingly, like here, take it, or like I just took it off like your nightstand or something like that.
And he's not pressing charges for theft kind of thing.
Well, here's the thing. So she got busted because she was going into Quick Trip. I'm guessing that's like a 7-Eleven joint we got going.
Yeah, it's like a gas station thing.
And the ball's on her. She goes in and goes, I want free snacks. So she just came in and like, I want free snacks. And the guy's like, what the fuck? Like, you're acting weird. And she was probably, I mean, from this mugshot, if this is it, she's just wearing like a white V-neck. So
Okay.
it's not standard
Undercover.
uniform.
That's how you stay undercover is you demand free things for being an officer.
Like, hey, look at that gun. See that badge? Give me that Twizzler.
Give me them Tweedler.
I need a Twizzler. So
They
yeah,
couldn't give her some 3-week-old taquitos out of garbage?
they could have given her something, but instead they gave her a jail sentence because
Hey, yo, that's free food.
Very
Some
good
free
point.
slop for you.
Very good point. But the guy, department says the guy, his name was Green, who was the actual officer. He was suspended, but he later resigned. I would be so fucking mad if somebody took my gun and badge and they're like free shit and they're like, sorry dude, you have to like resign because you don't know where your gun and badges are.
Oh, yeah.
Times,
I mean, you should. That's part of the job.
yeah, I guess it's if he lent it out, then like whatever, I don't really care. But like if that lady took it, I'd be like, I'm so fucking mad.
Yeah, if he was okay with it, then yeah, he gets punished. But
Yeah, she just like walks in there with a gun and badge and goes, hey, what's that thing floating in that deep fryer? What is that right there?
I'll take that.
Oh, this? Oh, we could throw this out. It smell good.
I'll take the chicken wing with the tail.
Well, when did chicken wings start having teeth? I don't remember that.
I like the crunch, though.
Anyway, yeah, that's our third food one.
All right, you ready for our fourth?
Hit me with it.
Tampa Bay residents forced to move after 120 coffins were found under the apartment complex. It didn't have to do with food. I lied. I mean, depending on who you are.
You open up those caskets, find a nice burger.
Can you imagine how pissed you would be if, like, you'd been living there for years and then all of a sudden there's like, you have to leave?
Well, I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
1, are they buried? 2, are they in the basement? 3, are they filled with bodies? What's going on? Are they built on top of a cemetery?
I believe the apartment complex was built on top of an old cemetery that kind of was lost over time. Or when they did it, they're like, oh, this won't be a problem.
Wait, what city was this in?
Tampa.
Okay, see, that's the thing. I was going to say Tampa because if there's a place with like hurricanes or flooding, sometimes the tombstones get swept away.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening.
No, it's showing a plan of it, and it looks like they just built
give
on
a
top of it.
fuck.
Okay, so now I'm seeing a photo. It's more like the spot in between the apartment complexes. It's like the sidewalk walkway in between the two, like a big green area with like sidewalk built over it.
So they're like, we're technically not on the cemetery. Oh, sorry,
The building
burp.
isn't, but the walkways are, which I think they're still just being like, yeah, we're not.
Well, if you jump, you get to the apartment. What if they just built a nice slingshot so you didn't have to walk all over the graves?
The grass is lava.
Wait, so that means that everybody's getting kicked out and they're demolishing the building?
They must be.
Whoa, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, I would be very upset.
But that'd be
about that.
cool to like go there to see if it's like haunted and shit, right?
It makes you wonder if there are any cases of that.
Yeah, I would definitely go.
Here, let me show you a picture of this.
Okay, I would definitely go in there and try to get Ouija board it. Oh, that's so interesting. Wait, how many? 150?
120.
That doesn't look like that you fit enough.
Oh, it just keeps going.
They
it just
stack?
keeps going back.
Oh,
Yeah.
So it's basically just like a huge grass area. Yeah, like
With
you said,
sidewalks
there's
and
like
light poles.
Yeah, there's like a sidewalk in the middle of this big grass area, and then there's a house to like the left of it, and there, I don't know. Just
It's
like
where you'd put a pool for the complex, but whew.
Don't start digging. You're gonna get yourself a poltergeist situation.
Haunted pool.
Float next to some skeletons and maybe some deep fried rats. You know. So I think we're caught up on all our food,
Oh, yeah.
including those coffins. So I guess it's time to get into these stories real quick.
Let's do it.
Okay. So first off, I'd like to say thank you, one of our fans, Adina, for sending an email over suggesting this story because I've heard of this story from my dad because he's a big car guy and
Daddy dearest.
and you know I've never really looked into it too much, so she inspired me to go a little bit of a deeper dive, and this is a lengthier one, but you kind of need some backstory in order to understand the actual story. So today I will be talking. I'll build up a little bit.
Yeah, build it.
So now I've never been much of a car person, unlike some of you guys out there.
Some real gearheads out there.
I drop a gearhead reference, you know?
Okay.
So I've had friends all of a sudden go into a trance as a luxury automobile zooms by, involuntarily spouting, "Oh shit, that's an Audi R8 V10." While you could hear me under my breath saying something along the lines of, "Fast car pretty, fast car loud, fast car probably much money."
Fast car scary.
Oh, so scary. So, although I can appreciate a beautiful vehicle, I'm a little lost when it comes to models, makes, and specs of those said nice cars. But there is one exception. This one exception goes far beyond car enthusiasts, gearheads, and the wealthy, because this exception has not only a model, make, or specs attached to it, but also a curse. This is the story of James Dean's Porsche 550 Spyder, aka Little Bastard, and the curse attached to it. So, do you know anything about this this vehicular?
No details. I do remember hearing once that he had like a cursed vehicle that
Exactly.
I know like small things about it, but no like actual facts about it.
I feel like most people know that because everybody knows that he died in a car accident.
Yeah.
And then they know that the car was like a nice car, and then they heard something about like a curse, like it was cursed. But I never really knew the details.
Are you gonna talk much about his acting career?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Then I won't.
So I'll
So I was gonna ask a question that I wasn't sure about, but I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, I try to cover a little bit about who he is because it makes a little bit more sense about the story.
Yeah.
So, now first things first. For those of you who don't know who James Dean is, he was an actor in the 1950s who was a Hollywood heartthrob.
Ugh,
He was so handsome.
so handsome.
I have to say this: without James Dean, there would be no Tommy Wiseau, and
It's
there
true.
would be no Room.
Yes, or the new Joker.
Oh, he's not the new Joker. But he starred in small uncredited television and movie roles for about 4 years before he got his big break starring in East of Eden as Cal Trask. The role earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, as he then went on to star in 2 more films. Do you know the other films?
You know, I honestly don't know if I've ever seen any movie he's been in.
So he was only starred in like 3 big films. He had like
That's what I was gonna
small
say.
roles.
He didn't have a very big like he had a huge career, but it wasn't very long.
Yeah, I mean his first big movie, he got an Academy Award nomination, which is like insane. I didn't even know that he had that for the first movie.
Was he a good actor or just insanely attractive?
He was a good-looking dude, but he was like, if you watch his other movies, I'll get into it right now because the other movies were Rebel Without a Cause and Giant. I never saw Giant, but I did see Rebel Without a Cause.
Okay.
But if you watch Rebel Without a Cause, his acting is like very. He seems like a weird guy in the movie, but his acting's good. I don't know where I really stand on it. I think it's good.
It's like one of those things where you don't necessarily like the character, but he did a good job portraying it.
He's really emotional in it, and I feel like every
Okay.
time you're really emotional in something, he'd be like, "Duh, you're tearing me apart," you know, like that thing.
Yeah.
And like if you watch it, you kind of like laugh at it, and you're like, "Oh, that seems kind of weird," but like, I guess it's also the 1950s, so like I don't know, maybe.
Acting was a little more dramatic. It was closer. Acting back then seemed closer to like stage theatrics,
agree.
like over dramatic.
It wasn't slightness, it was like over the topness, but like
Yeah.
he was good, he was compelling, you
Yeah.
know. So like I said, Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, before his career was cut short. This is where the curse of the Porsche 550 Spyder comes into play. So one thing about James Dean is that beginning in 1954, he began to become infatuated with sports cars and motorcycles after filming East of Eden and buying a Triumph Tiger T110.
Motorcycle?
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. And a Porsche 356. So once you get a little bit of money, like he probably just like, I'm gonna buy all these fucking cool ass cars.
Like Jay Leno.
Exactly like Jay Leno. He's almost as good looking as Jay Leno.
Almost.
Almost.
The Crimson Chin.
So shortly after the purchase of these luxury vehicles, he desperately wanted to develop a racing career, which I also did not know. He
Yeah, I
was
remember
so
that.
into racing. So he would take his car out to Palm Springs, Bakersfield, and Santa Barbara to race, placing first in his novice races and usually second in the main event. He even hoped to race in the Indianapolis 500, which is crazy to think about because, like, compared to like what the Indianapolis 500 now is,
Yeah.
like with those cars, like you can't just be like, oh, I'm be like all of a sudden like Matt Damon wants to race against you, Jeff Gordon, and be like, oh, let's do it. You know, it's like
in a car he could probably just buy at a dealership and then put some new parts in.
exactly
Like today, it's like you don't buy those cars anywhere unless it's specifically for what it's doing.
Exactly, and I feel like there's a lot of safety regulations. Like you could just get like a
Big time.
you could like race a convertible in like the Indianapolis 500 back in the day, probably. I'm guessing.
There's specifications to like the strength of the motor and the types of tires.
I mean,
and
the doors
everything.
don't open, so that
You have to crawl in.
that in itself is like.
It's hard to crawl into those things.
Have you tried to?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never been inside one.
Yeah, my uncle, one of my uncles works in the like racing industry.
Oh,
And
really?
Every now and then, he actually has been racing a little more recently. He recently did the Long Beach one in the like the retro race, and so he had a car from like I think the 70s.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I got to crawl into that thing, and that was pretty hard to get in and out of.
Oh wow! I mean, I've went up to Infineon Raceway near Northern California, and
Yeah.
it was like a friend of a friend, and it was one of those like the sprinter car things. I don't know that like drive around the track to like help, and he
The pace setter
yeah,
kind of
but-
thing.
yeah, and it was like the track was wet, so the guy was like really good at driving, and he drifted around the track. So I literally got to go around Infineon Raceway, and he drifted and got so fucking close to the wall, and it was
terrifying.
It was so fun. It was so
Yeah.
cool. So, like I said, he hoped to race in the Indianapolis 500, but due to his busy acting schedule and the fact that Warner Brothers barred him from any racing during production, he was unable to compete.
They should have just not let him drive in general, but you know.
Well, it's kind of like the Steelers being like, Ben Roethlisberger, you're not allowed to drive your motorcycle anymore because you fucking crashed it and like knocked out half your teeth.
Yeah.
So after he finished A Rebel Without a Cause, he upgraded his Porsche 356 to the infamous Porsche 550 Spyder. He didn't get to race the 550 as much as he wanted to, though, because he soon started Giant right after. But after he finished Giant, Dean was back behind the wheel again, ready to race. So, like I said, I mean, this guy was like, he was so, like, hot at the time, that not like sexy, but I mean, yeah,
Well, that too.
I don't want to be like, but like his career was on fire, so he literally did these 3 giant pictures in like 3 years, which is
Yeah.
a little unheard of, especially for today's actors. But he
Unless
also,
you're like a comedian.
yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like Kevin Hart's in like 100 movies a year.
Shit!
Like,
Speaking of, dude, he just got in a car accident.
did he?
Yeah, he like flipped off an embankment and like messed up his spine, but like he's
Oh,
okay,
shit.
I guess. But
Sketchy.
yeah, so I mean that's kind of weird that you brought that up.
Okay, The Rock. Can we? The Rock's and everything.
Oh, you just cursed him, dude. Fuck.
Nothing can break The Rock.
Yeah, he crashes. He flips cars.
Yeah, he does the flipping here.
He does the flipping. So, but I forgot what I was gonna say. So, like his career was so on fire, but he also had this like big hobby because he just came into all this money. So he was trying to balance like this racing career that he really wanted and this acting career that he really wanted.
Yeah.
So
He's like Paul Walker.
exactly. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you're right, but he wasn't driving when he crashed.
No, but Paul
He's
Walker did
impressive.
have a race team. Like
Yeah.
he funded one and
It
stuff.
makes
but,
sense
yeah.
if like you're around cars that much, you know.
Yeah.
So now that Dean had time for his beloved 550 Spyder, he decided that he wanted to make it uniquely his by calling George Barris, the man who built the Munsters coach and the 1966 Batmobile,
Hell yeah.
to customize his Porsche. So
How
that
does someone get into that?
I don't know. He was like a car guy for Hollywood. So he would like
Yeah.
customize these. He would take cars and like refurbish them and make them look cool and all this.
That'd be
stuff.
such a cool job.
It's such an interesting job. Like
Yeah.
you said, I don't know how you fall into it. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like you're working on cars somewhere else, and then someone's like, "Hey, do you know a guy?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
So, so he gave the car tartan seats. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but it's basically the Scottish kilt pattern. Tartan. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he gave it tartan seats, 2 red stripes over the rear wheels, and plastered the number 130 on its doors, hood, and engine cover. The name Little Bastard was given by Dean's language coach, Bill Hickman, and was later painted on the car. On September 23rd of 1955, Dean met actor Alec Guinness. Do you know who Alec Guinness is?
I do.
Who is it?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wow, I did not know that. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, he met him outside a restaurant and had him take a look at the Spyder. Guinness told Dean that the car had a sinister appearance and then told Dean, if you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week.
Guinness was a weird dude.
Really?
Yeah, he hated the Star Wars movies. He thought it was all like I forget the quote, but he's like it's all like rubbish, like it's all witchcraft rubbish in it. Like
Is it because like he's like a thespian?
I think he was pretty religious.
Oh, so it's like people freaking out over Harry Potter, basically.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Ooh.
But I know he was not a big fan of the idea of Star Wars. It was just a job to him.
That sucks for him too, because I can't name another movie he's in.
The Star Wars New Hope was like towards the end of his career. I think he was one of those younger guys.
He had like a pretty full acting career when he was younger.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
He was like the guy who played the Grand Moffat, whatever his name was, the really creepy old general that was below Darth Vader. He had like a crazy long acting career before Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the thing, especially in England, like a lot of people like Americans don't know the long acting career of some of these like English thespians because they come over to America and we go, "Oh, you're from Star Wars." And he's like, "I was in 60 movies that you like that are not necessarily like action-packed space dramas, but they're like, you know, brooding, well-acted performances." So
Yeah, I think a lot of Guinness's career was like between the 40s and 50s.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So on September 30th, 1955, exactly 1 week later, creepy, Dean was scheduled to race in Salinas, California. And that's up near Monterey Bay for anybody, like kind of near San Jose.
Yeah.
So the original plan was to tow the sports car there, but Dean was told by friend and racer Rolf Wertherich he needed more break-in miles behind the wheel since the car was so new. So he decided to drive it up to the race with Wertherich riding passenger. So that's kind of crazy that like he bought this car and hadn't even really driven it yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, is there that much a difference between, I mean, see, this shows that I'm not a car guy, but like he drove the other Porsche, I'd be like, oh, there's not much of a difference between the Porsches. Like you driven one Porsche, you driven them all. So
Yeah.
I don't really know, but it's crazy that he wanted to race this thing and he didn't even like drive it really.
Yeah, that's not a great idea.
So it's actually, I don't even blame Were the Rich for saying like, you should probably drive it a little bit, because he was probably nervous that he was going to crash on the track. You know what I mean? He probably wasn't even thinking anything about like a crash off the track. So
Yeah.
So as he drove up California, approximately 4 hours into his trip, Dean was driving at a high rate of speed on Route 466 towards Paso Robles. So he kind of did like a weird drive up to like Bakersfield. He didn't go like the coastal route.
Okay.
He went like the inland route. Bakersfield,
desert route.
Bakersfield is in the middle of nowhere, California. It's like very deserty. And then he kind of hung a left up towards like Monterey and stuff. So driving in the opposite direction was a 23-year-old Cal Poly student named Donald Turnipseed. That's such a weird last name.
Well, his family's in the seed turning business,
I think so.
and they only turn it one way.
We have the rock flip all of our seeds.
They turn it up.
So Donald Turnipseed was in his 1950 Ford two-door. I don't know what that car looks like.
It has 3 doors on it.
It's Tudor. Tudor.
Oh.
Ford two-door. It just sounds like two-door. So
okay. Yeah.
So as the two cars sped up towards one another, Turnipseed crossed the dividing line in order to turn onto another route. I also read that possibly he was drifting over into the other lane.
Yeah.
But other people say that he was like just hanging a left over to another route. It was kind of like a weird. I looked at the actual like cross route and stuff, and I could see how the accident could happen.
It's like a weird kind of fork.
Yeah, especially when they don't have those regulations on like the road. You know,
The rural roads.
Yeah, they're probably not like a little yellow light being like, "Hey, cross traffic coming up." So, but Dean was going too fast to stop or to reroute his car from, Turnipseed turning into his lane. He's going about 55. They originally thought 85 miles per hour, but they said like where his body was from where the car was, he was probably going about 55. So it's between 55 and 85 miles per hour, which is still really fast when like probably didn't have seatbelts
or
in the car
airbags.
or stuff. Yeah. So Dean slammed into the side of Turnipseed, pushing the Ford 39 feet down the road and flipping his own vehicle in the process.
I googled the Ford car.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those really cool old style ones that have like the kind of uncovered front wheels, and it gets thin up into the motor, and it has like big spot.
Oh god, that thing is like
They're
fragile
beefy.
too.
I think they're pretty beefy.
Well, it's a convertible, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
It seems like a bigger car.
I mean, I feel like everything was heavier back then. It was probably
No plastic.
Yeah, not aluminum or plastic. It was like probably really heavy steel.
I would say it's a much bigger car than the Spyder he was driving.
Oh, okay. That does make sense for what's about to happen. So like I said, Dean slammed into the side of Turnipseed, pushing the Ford 39 feet down the road and flipping his own vehicle in the process. Passenger Rolf Wertherich went flying out of the car unconscious, while Dean remained trapped in the car as the Spyder smashed into the ground 2 or 3 times in a cartwheel fashion, landing in a gully beside the shoulder of the road. A woman with nursing experience was passing by and stopped her vehicle to help. She ran to the Spyder to attend to Dean and detected a weak pulse in his neck. When the ambulance showed up, they loaded Dean and Wertherich into the ambulance to drive them to the hospital, which was 28 miles away. When they arrived at 6:20 p.m., Dean was pronounced dead on arrival. The cause of death listed on James Dean's death certificate is listed as broken neck, as well as multiple fractures of the upper and lower jaw, along with both right and left arms broken, as well as internal injuries.
Yeesh.
Wertherich survived with a broken jaw and serious hip and femur injuries that required multiple surgeries, while Turnipseed left with only facial bruises and a bloodied nose.
Damn.
So like you said, oh shit, that car is beefy.
Yeah, I just pulled it up and showed a picture of Alex, and
Yeah, that's a big car. I mean, but still, like, I don't know. I mean, his car was like very small.
Spyders are small, yeah.
Yeah, they are, David.
Yes, they are.
Spyders are small.
Not all Spyders are small.
Some of them big.
Some big Spyders.
So So Dean just smashed into this guy. He broke his neck in the process because it was a convertible.
Yeah.
Didn't have like the proper. Now they have like roll bars. They might have had a roll bar in his, but like the tiny little ones that just go above your head. But
Yeah.
still, it doesn't really matter when the car's flipping at 55 to 85 miles per hour on a cartwheel.
From what I've heard, roll bars can actually be even more dangerous at times.
Oh, really?
It's kind of like the old how steel toe boots can be bad at times because if it gets crushed, then it makes the damage way worse on the inside, kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How so? Do you know?
Well,
I don't know the
if
physics.
the roll's hard enough, the roll bar will like kind of collapse in, and that's just like one more thing to like crush down.
Oh, no.
And it's hard to cut out if you have to like get someone out.
Yeah, that actually does make sense because it's closer to your head too. So
Yeah.
if that crushes, that's like sharp, or I mean, if it breaks, it's sharp serrated steel near your head. Or if it
Yeah.
just like bends down, now it's like
No one can get you out.
exactly.
Yeah.
And those are really, really strong too.
Yeah.
So James Dean had passed away. So once Dean had passed, the question was what to do with the car now. And unfortunately for those who came into contact with the wreckage, this is where the curse began. So George Barris, who customized the 550 originally, Munsters and Batmobile guy, bought the wrecked carcass of Little Bastard, and soon after it slipped off its trailer after he bought it and broke a mechanic's leg.
Oof.
Not long after, Barris sold usable parts of the vehicle, including the engine and drivetrain, to Troy McHenry and William Estrid, two fellow racers. So this is where like the curse kind of comes into play a little bit more because people who have probably heard of it knew that he sold off parts.
Yeah, and those parts are haunted.
Exactly. They said that like whoever came in contact with those parts or used those parts, like tragedy happened. So
I have a feeling things are going to get worse, and I'm just going to throw it out there and say, I'll take the broken leg.
yeah, I'll take the broken leg. So while the two were both racing against one another in the cars that had parts from Little Bastard, McHenry lost control and hit a tree, killing him instantly. And Estrid was seriously injured when his car suddenly locked up and rolled over while going into a turn. Both of those are completely true.
Yeah.
And
There's no debating it.
It's insane because I'll get into it at the end, but like with a legend this big, there's some
Questionable.
exactly
details.
But that man did die in a crash. They don't know exactly if he put like the engine in his car. They think he had a different part, but regardless, he did have a part on his car from Little Bastard, and he did crash into a tree and die.
Yeah.
So Barris still had 2 tires from the 550. Why are you trying to sell the tires? I feel like if a car flips, I mean, any part of it you probably don't want, but especially the tires,
Yeah.
they got to be a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
So he still had 2 tires from the 550, which were untouched in Dean's accident. He sold them, and not long after, both blew out simultaneously, causing the new owner's car to run off the road. Word got out that Barris had kept the car in his possession and was selling it for parts, and it caught the attention of 2 would-be thieves. So one of the thieves' arms was torn open trying to steal the steering wheel, while the other was injured trying to remove the blood-stained tartan seats, which is like, I mean, I don't even know why you... The legend probably wasn't even that strong at this point.
Yeah.
It was still probably just like, oh, this is James Dean's car. I give some money for this. So, I mean, but once it settles, once the legend settles, I'd be like, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So, due to all the incidents involving Little Bastard, Barris decided to hide the car, but was convinced by California Highway Patrol to lend the cursed heap to a highway safety exhibit. The first exhibit was unsuccessful as the garage that housed the car caught fire and burned to the ground. Mysteriously, the car suffered virtually no damage from the fire, and the next exhibition at a local high school ended abruptly when the car fell off its display and broke a nearby student's hip. That's a shitty...
Yeah.
Oh, we go to the museum. Did you get your permission slide? Yes, I did. Okay, you can come. Okay, just don't get too close.
Yeah.
Actually, come to the front. Come check out this. Oh, my hip.
My hip.
Oh, my fucking hip.
That's how I get a horse from here, bud.
Car fell on me. So the curse continued when the little bastard was being transported when the truck carrying the car lost control, which caused the driver to fall out and somehow get crushed by the car after it fell off the back. The car fell off 2 more transport trucks, which is now I'm beginning to question these transport guys. Yeah, they're
Do they know how to use a ratchet strap?
I was gonna say like it doesn't have wheels no more.
Yeah.
Where's it falling off of? Just like it's a big hunk of metal. Just tape it down.
Yeah.
Use some Scotch tape and tape it down.
Just tape it down already.
So
Put a piece of gum underneath it, stick it down.
the car fell off 2 more transport trucks while traveling on the freeway. Fortunately, not injuring anyone, so that was good. The CHP had enough of this cursed car and decided to give it back to Barris for good. But luckily for everyone, including Barris, the car went missing during transport back to his garage, and it was never seen again. A lot of people think that it was never seen again. People don't know where it is.
Ooh.
People think that Barris might have taken it off the market to build the legend more, which kind of makes sense. But you would make more money if you just put it on display at your house.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that they built a false wall around it. Somebody took it and then they hid it in some warehouse or a home, and they built a false wall in front of it. I don't really know, but I don't know if it
would have melted it.
Somebody took it.
Yeah.
And there's there's a car museum in Illinois that's offering $1 million or something if they find it, if somebody finds it and brings it in, or at least a part of it. So just to wrap this up, I have 2 more paragraphs. It says, it's hard to say if every detail about these accidents is true due to how legends usually start as something else and gain momentum over time, especially ones involving James Dean. But what we do know is that people were harmed, seriously injured, and even killed due to a connection with this vehicle. Although there are some people who don't believe in curses, there are people who believe in fate. And even if this curse did not creep you out, let me tell you one more eerie detail. So just weeks before the fatal crash, Dean took a break during the filming of Giant to record a public service announcement with television host Gig Young for the National Safety Council to promote safe driving. They showed Dean in costume, smoking a cigarette, talking to the host about his racing career. And I want to end it with this quote. So he says, I used to fly around quite a bit, took a lot of unnecessary chances on the highway, Dean says. Now when I drive on the highways, I'm extra cautious because no one knows what they're doing half the time. On a racetrack, there are a lot of men who spend a lot of time developing rules and ways of safety, and I find myself being very cautious on the highway. I don't have the urge to speed on the highway. People say racing is dangerous, but I'll take my chances on the track any day than on the highway. As he gets up and walks to the door, the host asks him for one more piece of advice for the young people. Dean turns to the camera and says, take it easy driving. The life you save might be mine.
Whoa. That is creepy.
So he died a couple weeks later after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
That's what scares me about driving on the freeway is it's not my driving, it's fucking other people.
Well, that's the thing. Last night I was driving and I was hanging a left across a right lane, and some guy, because I left super late, I left at 11:15, and some guy just comes out of nowhere, just speeding, because in Hollywood, when there's no traffic, people really like to speed.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's
That's
always...
just fucking L.A.
I guess, yeah, you're right. Because there's always traffic, so people really... There was 4 or 5 cars that sped past me and were zooming, no blinker, going back and forth. Because when there's no traffic, people are like, oh, I'm going to take advantage of this. I want to go fast. I want to show off my car or whatever, even though they're piece of shit cars. But the guy literally almost took off. That's actually super fucking creepy. I wrote this story yesterday, and that happened.
Yeah.
Whoa, he almost smashed into my driver's side door, and instead of braking or honking or throwing on a blinker, he just went around me going the same speed.
Yeah.
And if I didn't see him and hit the brakes, I could have easily gassed it into him, and he would have just smashed into me.
Yeah. It's always funny how the people that drive like assholes either have the nicest car you've seen or the shittiest car you've seen.
I know.
Never
There's
the middle
no
ground.
in between.
Never the middle ground.
Well, I think it's probably a little man's complex with the shitty car where you're I mean, you ever seen the shitty cars with they try to put nice pieces on it, a huge exhaust or
from Walmart.
What's the fin they put on the back?
The spoiler.
The spoiler. It's like
10-foot spoiler.
Your car ain't going off the ground. You don't need to ground that shit. Come on. So, yeah, I mean, if I got hit last night, that would have been a curse.
Spooky.
It would have been a curse involved in not only the car, but the story of the car.
Yeah.
But I'm not famous enough.
No.
I'm not famous at all.
No one would have cared.
So, yeah, exactly. You guys would have to share my story. Start your own podcast and talk about me getting hit.
We'd probably get more views.
We would.
Maybe.
What do you mean we? You would get more views.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, your one-man podcast.
Whoever I replace you with.
James Dean.
Yeah.
So, sorry, you're airdropping me pictures.
Look at that picture real quick.
Okay, open them photos. Let's see.
Why don't you read to them what that picture is I just sent you?
I'm trying to see. I guess I've never opened photos before, so it's wanting me to get started and giving me a quick tour. How about you just tell me what it is?
No. I want you to read to them exactly what it is. Because it's a gift that this podcast could really use.
Okay, it is a picture. Oh, it's a mummified cat slam dunking a mummified bird in a one of those basketball hoops you put on your door. That's $550. That's $750.
You can buy it now for $750, people. So if you really want to give us something special, get on eBay and get this mummified cat slam dunking a mummified bird in a small children's Nerf basketball hoop.
That is not having anything to do with James Dean. Like,
is it though?
He loved racing and mummified cats slam dunking mummified birds.
It's a great prize.
So that's the story of James Dean and his cursed little bastard car. So hope you enjoyed that. I know David was totally interested to the point where he wasn't Googling mummified cats.
Well, no, I forgot that I had found that, and I forgot. I decided now was a good time to send that to you.
I get a mummified cat cheap.
Yeah.
Real cheap, not $550.
No.
It's going to take you some time, but I got it.
The bird's the centerpiece.
Okay, let's hear what you got, okay?
All right, so let's get into this. Today I want to talk about an evil that lives in China and belongs to their legend and folklore. These creatures are highly feared, and for good reasons. They are described as a cross between zombies and vampires.
Ooh, those are two big ones.
Oh, yeah. So a corpse who has come back to life with the sole purpose of killing a victim to absorb their vital essence.
So I have a question, though, real quick. Zombie and vampire. So the only difference is it's basically the vampire that just continues to eat you. Because if there's one thing I know about vampires is that they bite you and they let you get strong enough so they can come back and feed on you.
Yeah. So I think
eat your whole body.
It's more that they suck your essence out instead of like eat you.
Ooh.
Yeah, they really like their essence in China.
This is getting horny.
The whole essence thing, I probably could do one episode just about that. But yeah, so these monsters are named the Jiangshi.
Okay.
I hope I pronounced that right. We'll see.
Nope.
Probably not. People have just stopped messaging us being like, you said that wrong. They're just like, this is just what it is. So
probably a Jiangshi himself.
Yeah.
I really fucked that up. I'm like, Jiangshi, what's up?
Jiangshi.
Okay, that's close enough.
I think that's good.
It's good.
The faster and more confident you say it, the less it'll bother people, I think. So technically, the Jiangshi is a Chinese spirit who have the power to breathe life into corpses.
Oh.
And they are also able to build a body with bones and rotten flesh, kind of like a Frankenstein's monster thing.
Okay, so that's where the whole vampire thing comes in, because like you could turn them into, you could breathe life, you could like create an army like a vampire can, I guess.
Exactly. So these monsters are usually have red eyes, sharp claws, and the skin of a rotting corpse. There are other ways that is believed to make these ghouls walk the earth, such as a hostile chemical composition in soil where a corpse was buried. They believe that without the correct bacteria to help the process of
condensation, decomposition.
Yeah. The body will continue to grow hair and nails and will awaken half dead.
Oh, I know the hair and nails thing. Mm-hmm. So I know the nails thing, right? Where like everyone thinks that your nails keep growing, but it's really the skin on your fingernails actually peels back.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know about the hair, but I think your hair it always grows. There's so many skeletons underneath the ground with just a full head of hair.
The bones
they're-
are their money.
So are the worms. But that is pretty cool. That build your own zombie pack.
Yeah.
They got a build your own zombie kit.
You're like, oh, this one's got long legs. Let's do that.
This one's a tall one. He crawl in your second story window easy.
He's got a chest tattoo. I want that one on mine. So the next one is the use of magical arts to resurrect the dead. The next one is a spirit possessing the corpse, kind of like what I said before. Another one is a corpse that is as absurd. Wait.
He's absurd. That corpse is absurd.
Oh, no, a corpse that has absurdly too much yang qi, which is a negative life essence.
Oh, I thought it was like liquor. Or it was like, man, that guy
No.
drank too much Yang Li.
Well,
Is it a
it's
director?
It's qi. I don't know how you would say qi.
Shi?
Shi? Jiangshi?
Jiangshi?
So it's kind of like the people are so evil when they died that like they won't die peacefully.
Oh shit! Oh, that kind of makes sense. That's like the storyline for a lot of movies where it's like, oh, he was like a bad dude, so like he wants to come back, you know?
Yeah.
So that makes
Who
sense.
was that? Jason? Who was that? That was one of those guys.
Jason, Freddy, they're all pretty bad, and they all got resurrected. Michael Myers, he never really
Maybe
died.
that's the one. I don't know.
He never really dies though. He just gets shot a shit ton.
Yeah. So the next one is a corpse that was not buried after a funeral ceremony was held.
Holy shit! There's so many ways to make these.
Oh, they get.
It's like they're asking me to make one.
Yeah. The next one's my personal favorite. Is when a pregnant
Oh no!
when a pregnant black cat gets too close to a corpse. You know, you get it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go into detail.
There's no, we don't. Everybody out there gets the connection why that would happen. I get the dirty soil. I don't get the dirty soil. I don't get the bean batting your. I get the pregnant cat though.
Yeah, pregnant black cat. Has to be a black cat.
Black cat.
So then there's when the corpse is struck with a strong light, like a lightning strike.
Okay, that's Jason. That's one of the ways Jason came back to life.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Which they also reference like
That's
the
Frankenstein's
too. Monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another one is when the soul of a person is unable to leave the body due to a violent death, suicide, etc.
Holy shit! Literally, it's like 1,000 ways to make a zombie.
Mm-hmm. And a victim of a premature burial or buried alive, basically.
Okay. Oh fuck. Okay, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, and then of course the classic one is when a person is injured by a Jiangshi, and
zombie bite.
Yeah, they are infected with the virus and will gradually change over into one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You forgot about the most important one, right?
Which is
dive headfirst into a deep fryer.
there's that one too. That's
That's
in a
Whataburger.
That kind of covers when the soul of a person is unable to leave the body due to a violent death, suicide, etc. The etc. is
you're
jumping
right,
into
you're
a deep
right.
fryer.
You're right. Okay, is that only humans or
Yes.
is it? Oh,
Yes.
oh man, I was really hoping for that mouseketeer to come back.
It could. Stuart Little. Stuart, the white hair.
Wait,
So, with many ways to become one of these monsters, it can create a wide variety of what they look like. It is said that the appearance can range from the unremarkable, which when they say that, they're referring to when the
Looking
monster,
human.
yeah, when they're a little closer to being like when they recently deceased, so they're a little more lively looking.
Yeah.
To the horrifying, which is when they have rotting flesh. Being that the deceased had started to decay over time.
That's when you get like the $9.99 kit, and you're like, hey, I got the kit, and then like you go see the kid first day of school, and he's got the $100 kit, and he's like, oh look my Jiangshi. I'm saying it wrong, but like look at mine, and he's like, oh yours is cool looking. Well, mine's kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
Look, you can see his wiener through his pants.
But I like to drive him really fast down Hollywood Boulevard, just like you.
He got a big hole where his pants are, and his wiener's hanging out.
You're just flopping around.
Oh, it fell off. Okay. Oh.
My mama packed a sewing kit though. So this Chinese character for Jiang, which is Jiang Shai.
Jiang Shai.
Jiang literally translates and means hard or stiff. Eh? Eh? Brown chicken, brown cow. And it is believed that the Jiangshi is so stiff that it cannot bend any of its limbs or body parts. So the way it moves around is by hopping with its arms stretched out for mobility.
Okay, that's a little less scary. It's super. That's a zombie movie I want to see.
Yes.
Just a bunch of
just
zombies
hopping
on
around.
pogo sticks, just fucking coming at you.
Those are the fast ones with pogo sticks and the moon boots.
Are these the Romero zombies or are they Snyder zombies? Oh, they're Jiangshi zombies. Yes, they're on pogo sticks.
Did you ever have moon boots as a kid?
No, but I wanted them.
Dude, those
I
things.
also wanted sock'em boppers.
I'm pretty sure.
Fucking knock
we had
your brother out.
We had both of those, and we would fight with them. I'm pretty sure that's why both my ankles click. So the Jiangshi are depicted in pop culture to have a paper talisman with a spell attached to their forehead.
Are you wait, a paper towel? So they got a paper chain on?
They've got like a little
trying
like spell on their forehead.
Okay.
And they wear a uniform coat and a round top, tall brimmed hat.
I'm not looking that scary right now. Kind of look like a nerd with a piece of paper, a kick me sign on his forehead, and a top hat.
If you can. If you can kick me in the head.
And you could kick him because there's no way he's getting up. You ever
Well-
try to get up without bending your knees?
Yeah, but the hopping is hard. That's hard to land a good kick.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Especially if they're on a pogo stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another key feature of the appearance would be its greenish white skin, which some people believe is a fungus or mold that grows from the infection. And others say it's obviously just like greenish skin is because it's a corpse.
That makes sense, too.
And they're also said to have long white hair on its head, and obviously,
On its head?
and I mean, I feel like this is like the miracle growth that we've been looking for
What?
for all of us Americans that are losing our hair.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Elon found it. Why can't we?
Yeah, it's crazy. Once you get rich, your hair magically grows back. Except for
LeBron.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos likes that power shine.
He does.
So I had a good list of how to become one of these monsters. So why don't we look into the glorious list of how to stop these things?
Okay.
Because this list is much more interesting.
deep fryer.
Um,
Okay. Well, you said it's more interesting, so now I'm very curious. I thought it was
Yes.
just gonna be like, shoot them, stab them, burn them.
Oh no. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are the.
I want some pregnant black cat shit going on.
We might. So these are the methods and items that can be used to stop the monster. It's believed that mirrors are a good way to stop the monster.
Oh, they hate themselves.
Yeah, they're terrified of their own reflection, so that's one way to stop
I'm
them.
so fat.
Okay, and items made of wood from a peach tree.
Okay, because
It's believed that the essence of peach is used to deter evil spirits.
ooh,
Yes.
okay.
Here we have a rooster call. And it's said by a Yan Mai book, that's an author, that evil spirits withdraw when they hear a rooster's call. And it's basically just because that's like a symbolism of like the sun coming up.
I was about to say maybe that's the vampire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, most monsters don't like daylight. This next one is jujube seeds.
Actually,
jujube seeds?
I'm sorry, but the mirror is kind of the same thing as the vampire too.
Yep.
So okay.
Well, no. Vampires just can't see themselves in mirrors.
Well, I read the book I Am Legend, which is they're vampires in the book, like for sure. I know people go, oh, they're zombies, but they're vampires in the book. And one of the ways he keeps them away from his house is he hangs garlic and he puts mirrors outside of his house.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people, he thinks that the vampires can actually see themselves, but he believes that they themselves are superstitious, so they do not like mirrors or garlic because they have like a belief in them, like we have beliefs.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, so the next one is jujube seeds.
Okay, I don't know them.
I don't either. And it's believed that by nailing 7 seeds into the acupuncture points on the back of the corpse would kill it. So sure, just
Okay.
ask the monster to settle down for a good 30 minutes and
Be like, oh, you look tense. You look stiff. Can I give you a nice back rub? And be like, I guess so. Be like,
get 6 down.
you smell like peach. Like, yeah, well, wait, here. What's poking me back there?
So there's the classic one that you mentioned before, That's always a good idea when you're trying to kill something that's from out of this world. I mean,
Burn it with fire.
torch it. Yep, light it
Hell
up. Now this is when the list loses any of the information and it just listed like words.
Oh, yes.
So we can have some fun with
Wait,
this.
are they Chinese words or are they...
Some of them.
Okay, so you don't know what they mean?
I did the thing where I like
Translate?
quickly like look up, like
Okay.
highlighted, looked up.
Okay, cool.
So there's hooves of a black donkey, not a brown donkey, but a black donkey. I don't know what you're supposed to do with the hooves.
Nice swift kick.
That one I didn't want to Google. I wanted to leave that up for anybody's interpretation.
No one's really figured that one out yet.
I don't know if you're supposed to like put them on a rope and hang them around your neck.
I think one just happened to die of natural causes near a black hoofed donkey, and they're
Yes.
like, "That."
Oh no,
might
it's
have-"
hooves of a black donkey.
Oh, it's not black hooves. It's a black donkey hoof.
Yes.
Okay.
The next one is vinegar.
Will that kill anybody?
Yeah.
Smells.
Enough vinegar can kill anybody. There's a Ba Gua sign. I had to look that one up, and it's
It says no zombies.
it's just like a sign that has like writing on it and stuff, and it looks like it has kind of like a yin and yang.
It's kind of like
symbol on it.
It's kind of like if somebody's like hold up a cross.
Yeah,
Kinda
it's like
like
that.
that, yeah.
It's like that. And then I Ching, which is a book.
Like probably like the Bible, huh?
Probably.
Something like that.
Tong Shu, which is a song.
Probably like any of the Bible songs.
Yeah.
Can't name you one. Any of Josh Groban's greatest hits?
They're all Christmas ones.
You raise me up. Just play that. The
That big
fucking
baby.
zombies jump headfirst in that deep fryer.
Guy looks like a big baby.
Even though it's a good ass song,
Gluttonous rice.
the rice itself is fat.
Yes.
Yes,
Adzuki beans.
my favorite.
A handbell.
Annabelle.
Handbell, which I'm assuming is similar to the rooster call because I think it's a bell you ring by hand.
Because they hate dinner time.
Maybe it's like one of the like the big ones that there's like a rope and it's like
Like a monk.
ding. Yeah, because that's like
Well, I
it
was
also
thinking-
symbolizes like the sun coming up.
I was thinking they hate charity. You know, like the people out in front of the supermarket, and they're like,
Oh,
what's it?
charity! I thought you said cherry.
No, they hate peach, but they
The guy's
love
dressed up
cherry.
like Santa Claus.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, I've never turned away faster and be like, oh, I don't have any change on me to put in the red
Yeah.
bucket.
And you don't want to help these
Bad.
poor children. It's like I can't help myself, sir.
I am the poor. You're lucky I don't reach my hand in there right now.
Here is a thread stained with a concoction of black ink, chicken blood, and burnt talisman.
I have that in my room.
It's always good to have one of those. This one I really like, and that is the blood of a black dog.
Oh. You gotta kill a black dog? Well, the black
don't have to
the
kill
black
it.
donkey has. Oh, okay, you just take some blood from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a stonemason's owl, not an owl. AWL.
Okay. I'm like, oh, I found this owl. I'd be like,
I thought it was a typo at first, and I was just like,
who is your owner? And like, the butcher. Ah, fuck. We thought you were the stonemason's owl.
You got any buddies that live with a stonemason?
Wait, it's AWL?
Yeah, so it's a small tool for working with leather.
Oh, okay.
I think it might be the thing you use to poke holes in belts.
Oh, okay. It's who put these holes in my belt?
Dad, that's what they're supposed to do.
You latch them up through those belts.
And then there's an axe. It just said axe. Any old axe will do.
That works.
Just an axe.
Oh, going old school on this one.
This one's obviously the most terrifying and the obvious weapon you could ever choose.
Another Jiangshi.
A broom.
Oh,
They don't like brooms.
I've seen an old lady with a broom. It's deadly.
This is the most curious out of the no description answers I got, and that would be holding one's breath.
So kill yourself.
Yeah, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's more you hold your breath so you don't inhale the spirit.
Oh, so
That makes sense.
I see. There's so many ways to become infected. I forgot. Is one of them just like breathing in their fart or something?
I think so. I think it's the part of the essence thing is inhaling it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is essence similar to BO?
In some rings of culture, I don't fucking know. And then last but far from least, this is probably my favorite, honestly, is dropping a bag of coins can cause the Jiangshi to stop everything because they have to count the coins.
Greedy little. Oh,
They just have to count them.
they have to. Okay.
It didn't say anything about them keeping the coins. They just have to count them.
That's why I always wear cargo pants full of pennies.
Yep. What was the joke? Isn't there like a comedian that has a stand-up joke about that?
It's Daniel Tosh, I believe, where he like makes it rain on people or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it definitely wasn't Jiangshi related.
Yeah, you never know. He's a man of culture.
Maybe. Oh, what'd you drop? You drop all your coins?
I dropped my coins. I didn't
We're safe for a bit.
No, there's only a few. It'll only take him a minute.
It's what the $2 bill I have in my wallet all the time, and that's the only cash I ever have.
Yeah, I actually have one of those in my car.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know what to do with
Is
it.
that your savings and your checkings?
You never know. You just never know when you're going to need it.
He just looks down and goes, "2," and then just comes after you, and you're like, fuck.
Stuck in traffic, I like to pull it out, and I like to do a little, like, a little straight, what do you call that when you kind of whip it and you pull both things,
that
both,
is cool.
both
It's
sides,
like,
and it show it to people, and they're like, wow.
And everyone's really impressed by
Yeah, I show it to the, like,
Is that a
I
dollar?
turn to the right first, and I do that. I wait until I get their eye contact, and I wait for their approval, and I turn to the person to the net, the other side, and I do it. And
then somebody goes, "David, this is a funeral. This is not appropriate."
yeah, but what if they've never seen a $2 bill? I guarantee you, most 6-year-olds haven't. Nothing's more exciting than your first $2 bill.
It's true.
Yeah.
Or a big old Kennedy 50-cent piece.
Oh yeah, those big old coins.
Yeah.
We need
Just
to bring
make you
those
feel
back.
like you're all Western.
Oh yeah.
Slap that on the counter and get yourself a room for the night
Yeah, flick it over.
and some company.
So there are different accounts of why these monsters exist. Many believe it is just an evil spirit to wreak havoc among the living, but others believe the actual purpose of these monsters was started because when relatives of a deceased who lived too far could not afford to transport the body, they would hire a Taoist priest to conduct a ritual to reanimate the dead person and teach them to hop their way home.
Oh, nice home hop.
Yes.
Okay.
The priest would only transport the corpses at night and would ring a bell to notify others that they're in the area to warn them, because it was believed to be bad luck for the living to see them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they're trying to pretend like the priest is getting, like, he's not getting the credit for, like, he's getting the credit for putting the spell on him, but, like, he's not doing the walking. He's not transporting him. He's like, get the fuck up. I just got, like, get hopping.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think they escort them. Like they walk with them.
Oh, so they walk and ring the bell the whole time?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's really, he's ringing the bell, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different bell.
Herd and cattle.
I love that bell. I don't like another bell. I like that taco bell.
Ooh.
Not that bell, though.
Really big in China.
Not Bell Taco.
Not Bell Taco?
Del Taco. I don't know. I'm not a Del Taco fan.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't say I've ever really experienced
We're
it.
going off track here. Sorry.
So whether you're waiting for the arrival of your great-great-great-great-grandpepper to show up,
Grand Pepper?
or you just happen to come face to face with a hopping zombie, don't forget to toss your sack of coins, because if you don't give yourself a clean getaway, you might just end up hopping with your pep into the night's air.
Well, first off, could we just say that you don't toss coins on the ground?
What do you mean?
What do you do with coins?
You yeet.
You yeet them on the
You
ground
yeet
as
that
hard as you
sack.
can.
Well, yeah, you do that because you hope the sack explodes.
You do a sack smash.
Sack smash. I mean, the more you can disperse the coins, probably the longer you'll have to get away.
Last time I was with my pep,
Science.
we did a sack smash.
Yeah. What about your grandpepper?
He was all up in my business.
But yeah, that's the end of my story there.
Oh, man. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. Get a
You're-
little morning session.
Mine was a little bit sadder. Yours is really fun. You know, hopping zombies. I just had like a dead celebrity cursed car.
Yeah.
Maybe we get old Dino back over here in LA. He's buried in Indiana now.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that priest out there and get him hopping over here.
The
'Cause
hip
we
and a hop.
need more movies.
Yeah, we do. Imagine a whole movie of hopping zombies from
Hoppin'
stars of the
James Dean.
50s.
Yeah. Little
Hoppin'
Charlie
James, hoppin'
Chaplin.
Marilyn.
Yeah. It would look good.
Hopping JFK.
Then we could finally get rid of all those people who have like those paintings of all of them, like Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, and James Dean, like hanging out together. And you're like, this does not look good.
My favorite are the those T-shirts you can get at like Ross that have like Marilyn Monroe with like a gangster bandana
Oh,
across
it's
her
my
face
favorite.
and big earrings, and it's like
Yeah.
bad bitches never die
It says California across
Yeah.
the top of it. and
with a
you're like,
pot leaf to dot the I. With that like metallic material.
You know that Marilyn Monroe is one of the biggest gangsters of the 50s.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's why they killed her. That's why they did it.
Before she could invent rap.
Yep. Her and Tupac are hanging out in Jamaica.
Big time.
So we want to say thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it when you do. And if you guys want more information, go to camstrange.com. We have all the hyperlinks there. Please rate, review, and subscribe if you can. We'd really appreciate it. What else are we going to say? We got merch if you guys want to go check that out. We got mugs, we got shirts, we got merch. I got to get to work soon, but...
Oh, yeah.
David, what else do we got?
We got one of those books that's like for baby naming, but it's just passwords. If you can't think of a password.
That's good.
Yeah, you can circle them.
We have a slimy pogo stick that you can use as long as Grand Pepper doesn't show up and ask for it back.
We got a pregnant black cat.
We got flowers that smell like tamales. Like roses.
Like hot tamales or like the actual food tamale?
That's the thing. You get to decide when you smell them. It's like a gobstopper.
I know one thing we don't have, and that's a mummified cat slam dunking a mummified bird.
Fuck!
We need that.
I need $550 right now.
No, we need $750 to secure the package.
We have $750.
No, we don't.
You're right.
We've got an old RuneScape account with your name on it.
We have the deepest V on a shirt you've ever seen. Just
so you can show off that Gucci belt. That's how deep it goes.
It's a V-neck whole what's the things called that like janitors wear where it's just like a big
utility belt?
One big suit, you know?
A jumpsuit?
Yeah, it's a V jumpsuit, so your balls are hanging out the bottom.
I think that's just a jumpsuit that's not buttoned up, bud.
We got an unbuttoned jumpsuit.
We had no buttons.
You just got fired.
We needed the buttons for another outfit, so we're making this a new fashion. I think that's enough.
Yeah, I think we're good.
You need to go to work.
Okay, well, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate what you do. David, you got anything to say?
Don't forget to eat the buttons off your Grand Pepper's suits.
And don't forget to stay strange.